let's discuss what you need in setting up your first WordPress site. First, of course, you need a domain name, and there are many registers that you can use in getting your domain name, but I recommend these three main domain name providers: the Namecheap.com, the GoDaddy.com, and if you are an Australian, crazydomains.com.au. And then the next thing that you need is the hosting account. There are lots of hosting account providers, but there are only very few hosting accounts that are good enough for your needs. So for that, I highly recommend, if you are just a beginner, I highly recommend three. The first is the iPages.com, which I personally use for a long time, and they have provided me a great service. And of course, there are also lots of internet marketers who are using Bluehost, and it's also highly recommended. And the last one is the HostGator.com. It's also one of the most popular hosting provider. The third that we need to discuss is WordPress software. Or there are two WordPresses in the internet: the WordPress.com and the WordPress.org. What you need for self-hosting site is the software that WordPress.org is providing. So just go to WordPress.org so that and download the software, and that's all you need in setting up your first WordPress site. And then here comes the WordPress themes. There are lots of themes around, and maybe there are thousands of themes around. And for that, if you are looking for a premium theme, I highly recommend Genesis Themes, Elegant Themes, and Theme Forest. Uh, of course, there's no such thing as perfect theme, but there is a best theme that will certainly fit your needs. So just play around with these three main theme provider, and you are good to go. And of course, set of plugins. So what do you need for your first WordPress? The lesser plugins that you will use in your website, the better. But as for my experience, usually average website uses around 10 plugins or maybe 15 plugins, but I don't recommend more than 10 plugins. Why? Because it makes your site slow as well. So keep it to the minimum. So for the plugins, the most commonly used plugins is first, of course, the WooCommerce. If if you are planning to sell something on your website, if you are planning to make a store on your website, WooCommerce is a must. A must plugin that you can have. It's very simple to use. It's free. Of course, there are some extensions that they also provide, but this most of these extensions are not free. But the WooCommerce as standalone is a fully functional e-commerce solution for your WordPress site. And of course, there is also Gravity Forms. There is a free version of Gravity Forms, but I highly recommend the Gravity Forms that is premium one, that the ones that you where you get license of it. Why? Because it's flexible and you can do a lot of things. And then for my experience, there are lots of things that you can do using Gravity Forms, including subscription forms. So it's very useful. I suggest that you get the premium one. And of course, the last thing that I highly recommend that is a must for your website is the WordPress SEO by Yoast. So many themes now offer SEO, but not as flexible and updated as the WordPress SEO by Yoast. So make sure that you also have that plugin. Alright, so there you have it, the things that you need to set up your first WordPress site.